so let's start. Where were we yesterday? Yeah, so yes, so what we were discussing yesterday we were discussing about the test cases. Okay, that how you have to write the test cases and how you guys will cover the functionalities. Okay, I hope everyone can see my screen, right? Okay, fine. If yes, no, you all can see, right? Please. Okay, fine. Yeah, sure. Thank you. Okay. So yesterday we have discussed about this thing regarding the test cases for ATM. Okay, so I told you that you have to cover the main functionalities along with the UI, text, color, font, and the language. Okay, that also you have to cover. Then you have to cover all the messages whenever you are testing for any application, right? Then at that time you have to verify all the messages also. Suppose in the username text field, if you will keep it blank, you will get that error in the below, right? So all that error, whatever error is present in the application or messages, that you have to verify. they one second. So that is the thing. Then we have, sorry, yeah. Okay, then after verifying the messages, like first we have to verify if we will insert the card and incorrect pin, then we will verify the message, then verify the message when there is no cash in the ATM, because sometimes when you go to the ATM and you find it that there will be no money, then ATM that monitor screen will display the message, right? So you have to verify because you are testing the complete ATM machine, right? So you will verify on these things, verify the message after transaction, okay, everything. Then we have the cash cash withdrawal functionality. Verify the cash withdrawal functionality by inserting some valid amount. So now here what you have to verify, when you are giving the valid amount, suppose you have to withdraw 10,000, you are giving 10,000, then when cash is coming out of the ATM machine, and then it should be 10,000 only. It should not like that you are giving 10,000 but but ATM is giving you the 5,000 only. So that is also the main functionality. You will verify that. Then verify if a user can perform only one cash withdrawal transaction per pin insert. That means you also have to verify that only one cash withdrawal transaction per pin should be there. It should not like, suppose you have inserted the card, give the pin, okay, and you give the pin for cash withdrawing the 10,000, okay, then only 10,000 will be coming out. It should not like 10,000 or some other amount is coming. So you have to verify on that scenarios. Then verify the different combinations of operation and check if there will be a power loss in the middle of the operation. That means when all that thing is uh, when all that functionality is going on, that means different combinations. So suppose you have to withdraw the money, okay, you have inserted the card, you have given the pin, okay, and now when machine has to give the money out, right, then at that time its operations get failed, okay, due to power loss in the middle of the operation. So you have to verify this also. Okay, there are lot other test cases which can also verify, that comes under the security or performance. Okay, so how is the performance? Is the ATM functionality is going slow or security purpose? Because security means if suppose you have already withdrawn the money and now you are going to your home. Okay, other person come to the ATM. So your security scenario should be, the when other person will come, your screen should not display your pin and anything, any details. So this comes under the security. So this way you have to, for the complete ATM machine, okay, you have to create so many test cases and you have to cover all the functionalities. You cannot leave any of the functionalities, otherwise defect would get leaked. Then you will also do the negative testing, negative test cases. Verify the functionality by entering a wrong pin number for 3 or more times. Suppose in any of the banking application or very finance or very very complicated applications like banking, finance, insurance, there if you will give wrong pin number 2 3 4 times, your debit card, credit card, your account got locked. Okay, because they have a prediction that might someone else try snatch your like debit card and trying. So they, from the security purpose, they have given this requirement in the application that if someone will enter a wrong pin 3 or more times, okay, then it will either any call will be auto generated or it account got logged, okay, or any OTP will be sent to your mobile number. So you have to verify this functionality also. Now think, from where you get this functionality, that verify the functionality by entering a wrong pin number for 3 or more times. Okay, now what is your expected? That expected is given in the requirement document. Client will tell you, boss, if you will enter a wrong pin number for 3 or more times, this should happen in the ATM machine. Client will tell you. Your duty is to test whatever client is saying that is happening in the application or not in this scenario. Okay, see, this ATM machine is not your home project. How you will get to know that if I will enter a wrong pin number 3 times, what is going to happen? How you will say, how you will identify? You cannot identify, okay, because you are not the client. Client will tell you, this is my ATM machine, I will tell you, okay, that if I want this functionality like this, I want if someone enters a wrong pin number for 3 or more times, okay, then this message should display in the ATM machine, or uh, user credit card or debit card got logged. Okay, so this, what is going to happen, that client will tell. Your duty is to test whatever client is saying, that is happening or not. Okay, so as expected comes from the client, actual whatever you are seeing in the application while testing. Okay, then verify the card reader functionality by inserting an expired card. Suppose your ATM card or your debit card or credit card got expired. Okay, and now what you are doing, you're just inserting an expired card. Then you have to see what message should come. Verify the card reader functionality. That means verify the ATM machine is reading your card or not, because as per the client's requirement, ATM will not read the expired card, because in expired card you cannot fetch the money out, right? That is for no use. Okay, so this is the one thing. Then verify the deposit is not functionality by inserting an invalid check. Suppose, as I hope everyone knows, that we can also submit the checks through ATM. Okay, there is other functionality of ATM. Apart from withdrawing the cash, we can also submit our check. Okay, so for check thing, what you have to verify, that that deposit is not functionality. The check deposit thing should not work if we are inserting an invalid check. As same wise the card thing, if you are inserting an expired card or the closed card or the locked card, then your card reader should not read and you are unable to withdraw the money. Same thing is with the check thing. If your check is invalid, okay, or you have a like nakli check, then you cannot deposit the check. Then so in this case you have to verify the deposit slot functionality by inserting an invalid check. Now, other scenario, this is your negative testing. What with your positive testing? Your positive test case will be verify the deposit slot functionality by inserting in valid check. Whatever you are testing with the positive test data is the positive test case or called the positive testing. Whatever you are testing with the negative test data, that is called as the negative testing or the negative test cases. Okay. Hmm. So this way you have to give, you have to, I mean, you have to do for the positive as well as negative. Okay, you have to perform both the testings. Huh? Fine. Then what is next? One second. Yeah. So this way, this is your negative, irrespective of the, yeah. So this is your thing. So see, for one ATM machine, you have covered so many test cases. When you will cover all the test cases, then there will be a very less chance that defect will get leaked from you. While testing on these test cases, how many? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, around 23 to 24 test cases. When you will test on that 24 test cases, for sure 3, 4 or 5 test cases is going to fail. And if 5 test cases are failed, that means 5 defects. Or uh, or also you can do one thing. Suppose for 2 of the test cases defect are almost same, then you will lock one defect and you will link with 2 of the test cases, 2 of the failed test cases. Okay, so see, in if you will see these scenarios and test cases, these scenarios, you have covered almost 90% of the functionality of the ATM machine. Because if you will miss 4 5 points, 4 5 scenarios from this, there will be a 80% chances that defect got leaked. But if you will cover all these scenarios, you will count as a good tester, because you have covered 80 90% of the functionality. And the moment you will cover 90% of the functionality, you will get to have more errors, more defects. Okay, so you have to cover positive testing as well as the negative testing, because your role is to break the system to find out the more number of defects. Okay, then as we know, what is the template? If someone asks you what is the template of the test case, you can say, you can name these fields that we in the test case template, we can create the test cases in the Excel or in the tool. And in the Excel, the fields which we have to fill, we have to give the details for the field, that is test case ID. I told you that is automatically will be generated, unique one. Test priority, okay, for every test case you can give the test priority, just low, medium, high. Okay, if the test case is of utmost important test case, then high. Less important, medium. And very low important, low. Name of the module, from which module you are testing it. Suppose you are testing for the login module, log or sign up module, you will give the name, login module. Test case designed by, tester's name. When you have designed the test cases, test executed by, who has executed, date of the. So on these fields also comes name of the test. Yeah, description, summary of the test. See, if anyone will ask you in the interview what are the fields while creating the test cases, you can name them 6 7, that's more than enough. But make sure you will give the important, you cannot miss the important. So here the important is test case ID, test case name, test case description, preconditions, test step, test data, expected, actual status. Let me do the from the yellow color once again. Okay, if someone asks you what is your template for the test case ID, what are the fields which you have to give while creating the test case ID, you can name them. You can name them all. But if you wanted to, but the most important, which you will give 6 7, that is more than enough. Okay, because every tool, every company has their different approach. In few of the companies, in few of the companies you have to fill only 5-6 details, but for other company or for any other project you have to give 10-15 details. So it all depends, but the standard thing is, if someone will ask you what is the fields you have to give while creating the test cases, or what is the test case template, you can say in the Excel we have to give details for these fields which is marked in yellow: test case ID, test priority, uh, test case name, that is also very important. Okay. Descript summary of the test case. What is the summary? In the summary you can give uh, whatever you are verifying, the description, the test scenario description you can give. Precondition is very important. If you are checking for the login functionality, your precondition should be that username and password should be valid. That is your precondition. Okay. Test steps. See, in the description and summary you will give what you will do, but in the test step you will give how you will do. How I yesterday I explained to you that your scenario is that you have to reach to the Bangalore, that is verify a user can reach safely to the Bangalore. That is your scenario. Test case name, test case description. Now your test step will show how you will reach successfully to the Bangalore. So your test step will be book the ticket, board the cab, reach to the airport, boarded the flight, okay, and then reach to the Bangalore. So these are your steps. Okay, then test data. I told you yesterday, test data, whatever testing you are doing by giving any data. See, you guys are mature enough to understand the data. What is data? If suppose you have to open one account in the bank, you will get that form. Whatever information you are giving by filling in the bank account form, that is your data only. And here, whatever whatever details you will give to test any application, that is your test data. Very simple. Suppose for the username and the login password field, your test data will be in the username you have to give the email ID, in the password you have to give the password. So that email ID and password will be your test data, right? See, if anyone will ask you, you can explain like this: Ki, sir, whatever we are testing, so while doing the testing, whatever information or data we are giving, we are using, that is called the test data. You can see, you can explain in your own words also, that's fine. Okay, but you should understand the concept, what exactly it is. You cannot learn only, and if interviewer will ask you ghuma fira ke and you are like blank dumb, it should not like that. Okay. Then we have the expected thing. Expected is what is the expected as per the requirement document. Okay, you are expected. This is also very important in the test case template, or while creating the test cases. You have to give, these fields are mandatory, other fields are optional. Whatever color I have marked in yellow, that is the mandatory thing while creating any test case. These fields you have to give, you cannot leave these fields. And other fields which is not marked in yellow, that is the optional. It depends on the project to project, company to company. Actual is very important field, because actual tells you that whether this test case is pass or fail after test, and you will fill the actual thing only after execution. You cannot fill the actual thing while creating the test case, because when you are creating, you don't know what is how this, whether this test case is pass or fail, or what is the action, because you have not executed it. Okay, you have not executed it. Okay, let me take one example. Suppose you have made one sandwich. Okay, so the moment you are the preparation of that sandwich called the creation of the sandwich, creation of the test case. Okay, actual is when you will taste it. Okay, actual means when you will taste it. After tasting, you can say, oh, whether the chef is pass or fail. If the sandwich taste good, okay, you can say, chef, you are pass, you have created a good sandwich. If the sandwich is third class, bogus, you cannot eat. Okay, then you can say, chef, you are fail. So you, how you will get to know the actual? When you have tasted it, when you have eaten that. Okay, so this way creation may, when you are creating a test case, you cannot give what is going to be actually happening, because you have only created it. Okay, you have not executed it, you have not tasted, you have not executed. After executing, you will get to know what is happening in the application, that you will write here. And if your expected and actual is same, your test case will be passed, your status is passed. If your actual deviates from the expected, your status is failed. If someone asks you how you will identify it that your test case is passed, you will say, sir, if actual and expected, if both are same, my test case is passed, because our actual is working as per the expected, as per the requirement document, as per the client requirement. So there will be no error, no fault. But now the interview will ask you how you will, what is the criteria on which basis you will fail the test case. Okay, then you can say, sir, if my actual deviates from the expected, if my actual is not same as the expected, that means there will be some error, some deviation, some fault. So in that case, I will mark the status as fail, and I will log the defect for the same, and I will link that a fail test case with the defect id, with the defect, so that if anyone from the management side will view your fail test case, they can say, okay, this tester has marked it as fail, and this tester has already logged the defect for the same. See, you cannot leave the test case. You see, you cannot, suppose you have marked the test case as fail, but you have not logged the defect. Then what is the use of failing the test case? Because your role is to find out the more number of defects. So that is a wrong approach. Whenever you are failing any test case, you have to log that defect. See, now let me give you one example. Suppose, for example, uh, one defect for two test cases are quite of the similar. Okay, quite of the similar. And if we and two test cases are fail, suppose two test cases are fail, and that is of the same functionality. Okay, then you will not raise two defects for almost the same a fail test case. If you will only log the different defects only if in your fail test case the defect is different. See, understand what I'm trying to say. Suppose, for example, okay, so let me give you one example. Suppose, for example, 1 minute, what is the example I can give? Uh, okay, suppose, for example, if in the cash withdrawal thing, okay, suppose you have one test case, that is like, when you will give the amount in the ATM machine more than 10,000. Okay, more, suppose you have to withdraw 15,000. Okay, and so your scenario is, verify a user will be able to withdraw 15,000 uh, if we are giving correct pin. This is your scenario, one test case. Now your second test case is, verify user will be able to withdraw the 10,000 amount when giving the correct pin. So one test case is of 15,000. Okay. Second test case is for the 10,000, right? And if this test case got failed, okay, for example, when you are giving 15,000, okay, 5,000 money, the money which you got is, it's not 15, it's coming 5. And when you are giving 10,000 in the screen, okay, and when money came out from the ATM machine, then it is 5 instead of 10. That means ATM is doing the wrong calculation, and it is giving the wrong amount, wrong money to you, right? So in both the case, you will not log the two different defects, because both the test cases are almost the same thing. Only it's just a difference of the amount of the money, 10 and 15. So what you will do, you will log one generic defect. Generic defect means you will log one defect. In that you will mention that uh, ATM machine is fetching the wrong amount. Okay. You can say verify. Uh, so you will raise the defect is that ATM money is fetching incorrect money. Incorrect money. ATM machine is giving incorrect amount of money to the user when user is entering correct pin and card inserted properly. Okay, so that means when user has inserted card successfully, when user has given the correct pin, but ATM money is giving the incorrect money to the user. Okay, this is your defect, generic defect. Here you will not mention the amount, because either you give 10,000, either you give 15,000, either you give 50,000. ATM is fetching, giving you the wrong incorrect amount. Okay, so what you will do, you will create this thing, this defect. You will not mention the money. Maybe you can mention the money in the steps, or the description, or the, but in the summary you will not mention. And now what you will do, you will mark those test case as fail and link to one defect, this defect which you have created, the generic one. Suppose this defect, when you will log this defect, its unique ID will be created. Okay, and that unique ID is something around 10612. Okay, so what you will do, you will mark those test case as fail and link to this defect. You will link to the defect 10612. Okay, 10612 for both the failed test cases. So that means you have to think logically. If your both test cases defects are almost same, then you will log one defect and link that defect to the failed test case. See, this line is very, very, very important. If someone asks you, uh, after failing the test case, what is your next step? You will say, sir, after once my test case got failed, I will log the defect for the same, and I will link that defect ID to my failed test case, so that if anyone go into the test management tool, they can easily identify that these are the past test cases, these are the failed test cases, and for the failed test cases, tester has already logged the defect. Okay, so so this is your duty. Okay, so if any of your test lead or your senior person has to judge your work, has to see your work, they can say, oh, he has marked the test case pass, and also he has marked the test case failed, and he has logged the defect also for the test case. Okay, and also linked it. You cannot only mark the test case as failed and leave as it is. Okay, it is necessary that for failed test case, defect should be there. You cannot leave this thing. Okay, defect should be present always for the failed test case. Remember this thing. Okay, one more important thing. Even the test case got passed, even the test case got failed. A good tester practice is to attach the screenshot. Okay, attach the snapshot. That will save you. That means that will save you, because see, this is the application. Application can anytime show the wrong functionality or something. Okay, so if when you are testing it, if everything is working, or a few see, when you are testing it present, whatever is working or whatever is not working, it might get changed after 10 days. Okay, so to prove yourself, what you will do, you will always attach the screenshot uh, next to the test case. See, you will do the test case pass fail. You can also do that status thing in the Excel sheet which I have showed you. Under the status column, you can mark the test case pass and fail. Okay, and also I told you, only in a startup or a small company used to track the test cases in the Excel sheet. But a good company, a big companies always track, always use the test management tool. And your test management tool is either Jira or HP uh, ALM, HPQC Quality Center, or sometimes Bugzilla. Okay, but the most important test management tool, if someone asks you, can you please name one or two test management tool? You can name it as Jira or Quality Center. These are the two important. HPANMQC is your license tool. Okay, for that you need a license. Okay, but Jira is your freeware. Okay, for Jira, company doesn't have to pay anything, any good amount. Okay, right. So Jira and QC is your test management tool. There, there you will uh, so there your test case will be tracked and captured in the test management tool. Your all the defects are captured in the test management tool. You will do the pass fail thing in the test management. You will link the defect in the test management tool. Okay, you will map the requirement to the test cases that in the test management tool. Okay, so all the things are tracked in the test management tool, and all your team members, all your senior members, all your needs managers have the access to that test management tool. And if they has to see any of your work, whatever you have passed, failed, or logged the defect, they can easily go into the test management tool and they can see. So suppose I am your test manager, and you have, your first thing is you have created the test cases, you have reviewed it, you have uploaded in the test management tool in the HPANM QC. Okay, after uploading in the test case, now now what is your next step? You will execute those test cases. After executing, if your test case is passed, you will mark the status in the drop down in the HPNM QC. You will mark it as passed, and you will attach the screenshot. Screenshot is very important, so that if 10 days later, okay, that functionality is not working fine, no one can question you that no, how come you have marked the test case as pass? See, this functionality is not working, you have done the wrong work. You can say, no, that time that was working, I have the screenshot, I have the proof, let me show you the proof. You can say like this. So being a good tester, a screenshot snapshot always save you, because application can anytime behaves weird. Okay, then later on no one can give you a challenge or question. You have done the wrong testing, see, you have marked this test case as pass, but see, this functionality is not working, you have wrongly passed it, this test case should be failed. You say, no, when I was testing in that bid, that functionality was working fine. See, I have the screenshot, let me show you the screenshot. So you can give the proof. But if you will only mark it as passed, maybe you have done it, you have executed it, okay, and that would be working fine, then you have marked it as passed, but you have not attached the screenshot. No one will trust you. If you will say, no, I have checked it, that was working fine that time, trust me, management will say, show me the screenshot, show me the snapshot, okay, show me any recording. They will not trust your words. Okay, they will not trust your words. They will say, no, you are highly mistaken, I think you have done the wrong testing. So that time you can prove yourself. So it's better you always attach the screenshot in the past test case as well as in the failed test case. See, in the failed test case, it's very important, right? Because why in the failed test case you cannot leave failed test case without screenshot? Because when after failing, after logging the defect, okay, when you will assign that test case or defect, failed test case and defect to the see, you will never assign test case to the developer. You will always assign that defect to the developer. Okay, whatever defect, you will never, developer are least important, are least interested in your test case thing. They have a only interest in fixing the defects. Okay, so in the failed test case, in the defect, whenever you will mark the test case as fail, you have to attach the screenshot. Whenever you will log any defect, in that defect also you will attach the screenshot, so that when you will assign that defect to the development team to fix, that time that time development team will go to your defect. They will they will uh, go through your defect. In your defect, you have given the defect id, defect name, defect summary, defect raised by whom, defect raised on which date, defect severity, defect priority. I told you na all that fields in when we were discussing defects. Okay, so he will go through all. Suppose after going through all the description and everything, still he will be unable to understand, man, what defect this tester has raised, I am unable to understand. His language is not clear, his English is not clear, I am unable to understand. That time the screenshot will help the development team. Then he will say, okay, let me see the attachment. In the attachment you have to give whatever whatever step you have followed, okay, for getting the defect, you will take the screenshot of it. Okay, suppose your defect step is uh, na- na- navigate to the login page, enter correct username, enter correct password, click on sign in, where user is not logged in. This is your defect. So for each of your step, you will take the screenshot either through the paint, or there will be one tool that is snippet tool. Okay, through that you will screenshot, and in the Word Office you will put step by step. Okay, so when development team will unable to understand your language, they will directly open the attachment, and there you have given the screenshot. Then through the screenshot, okay, here this is the defect, now I got to know. So this will help test manager, test lead, your developer, everyone. So that means this is the key point, that you have to attach the screenshot, okay, for the failed test cases as well as the pass, and for the defect also. And you cannot miss defect, and you cannot miss the screenshot for the defect of failed test case. The moment you miss the screenshot, the question will come to you, why you have not attached the screenshot. Okay, that will give a shock that you have not tested it. Okay, yeah. Then you will give the this field status, pass and fail, okay, in the test case template. I told you na, in the Excel sheet. Okay, so these are, whenever anyone asks you what is your test case template, you have to give these 6 7 names which is marked in yellow. You cannot miss it. Okay, you can say that we have to give details for these fields. We have to create the column, and we have to give the details to these fields while creating the test cases. Okay, these are the mandatory fields, because without it you will be unable to upload in the test management tool. Okay, and these are the important. Then we have a, yeah, see, this thing also in the test case, you can give the link and defect id, but that is the optional, it depends on the project. Sometimes in any of the tool they have the defect id is mentioned also in the, while creating the test case. In maybe in the other organization it will not mention. So see, always include the link of a defect or defect number if test case is failed. Okay, whenever test case is failed, next to it give the defect id. Okay, whatever defect you have logged for the failed test case, so anyone can easily see, okay, this test case is failed, and and its failed test case defect is already being logged. Okay, so anyone can track through the test management tool. Okay, then uh, see, this is the example. For example, test case id, something like this, it will be generated. Okay, test scenario, whatever you are going to verify this, whatever is your test scenario, whatever we have already discussed so many scenarios above, right? Verify this, verify this, you can give here. Test steps, I told you, this is your what to do, this is your how you will do, step by step. To reach test scenario, what are the steps you have to follow? User navigates to Gmail, user enters, user clicks the next, user sign in this. Precondition, your unique username and password. Okay, browser is not important, I told you. Only that is an optional thing. Okay, test data. Okay, expected output, actual output, and test case pass or fail. So these 6-7 fields are important. Okay, now someone can ask you regarding the what is the difference between test scenario and test case. So you can say test scenario contains high level documentation, okay, which describes an end-to-end functionality to be tested. That means test scenario give you the one line description, okay, one line description of what you are going to test. And test case gives the definite test steps, how you will reach that particular functionality. It's for testing on the features, give the definite test steps. Okay, if you are finding these languages difficult, you can understand, you can explain it in your own language. You don't have to be a parrot and learn everything. You should understand all these things, because definitions, there are more definitions in the internet or through everywhere, but thing is like here you have to understand the concept is very important. Okay, so that if anyone can ask you round to round घुमा फिरा के, so you will be able to answer it. Okay, जो लोग याद करके जाते हैं, those who go by learning heart, you know, they then anyone can make you confused, but if your concepts are clear, no one can make you confused. Okay, then see, test scenario always focus on what to do. Okay, what to do, what to test, and test case will tell you how to test. Okay, I mean, in here it is focus on more on what to test, and in the test case what to test and how to test. Okay, both the things. Test scenarios are just a one liner thing. Okay, and test cases have a steps, preconditions. Okay, steps, actual, output, expected, and status. Okay, see, test scenarios, how you will create the test scenarios, because you have first you have understand the requirements that is given in the BRS and business requirement specification SRS. After understanding the requirement, after understanding the application, after seeing the application, you will be able to write the test scenarios. Okay, and test cases is derived from the test scenarios. Okay, test scenarios you will create it by the help of the requirement document, and test cases you will create by the help of the scenarios, because whatever scenarios you have created, for that only you will write the test case. Okay, so simple. Test scenarios are nothing but it is a one-line description to check the functionality. It is focused on what to test, and it is the high-level thing. That's it. And test case defines the test steps. Okay, preconditions, your status, expected, actual, and here we've been emphasis on how to test. Okay, so this thing. Yeah, so this is test scenarios. You always take the less time, because it is a one line thing, and here it will be taking more time, more resources. Okay, because for every scenario, when you are going to write a test case, that takes little time, because you have to write each step, their expected, their actual, and their status. See, this is your format. Okay, sometimes see, this is your test scenario. Okay, 1 second, let me enlarge it. See, in this template, see, you don't have to copy this template. It depends where you will work. Okay, if you will work in XYZ, they will give you their own template. Okay, but you should know the one standard template. So if anyone can ask you, you can easily say, okay, no one will ask you to draw. Okay, all right. So you, and if you've been stuck anywhere, then you can say, sir, it depends on the project to project, organization to organization. Some have these fields, some doesn't contain these fields, but the mandatory fields which I've marked it as yellow in the above, that is kind of the mandatory that you cannot miss. See, test case ID, test case description, Okay, tester name, these all depends on the template which is given by your company. Okay, right, test case pass fail. See, those companies doesn't have any tool, so they will in the Excel they will create like this, and they here they will give all the information and track everything in the Excel sheet. But those company has the test management tool, they will track all these things in their test management tool. Okay, so this way you can explain to anyone. It depends on the company to company. If we have the test management tool, we will track all the test cases, okay, and every details in the test management tool. If we doesn't have the test management tool, then we will capture or track all the test cases and the defects in the Excel sheet. Okay, and we will follow the template given by the company, but you will explain that in the template we will give the test case ID, test case name, test case description, tester's name, precondition, test data. See, precondition is Chrome browser should be available. Suppose you have to test on Chrome browser, but in your system Chrome browser is not installed, then this is your precondition to proceed with the testing. Chrome browser should be available in your desktop or laptop. This is your precondition. So access to Chrome browser, you should have access to Chrome browser. This is your precondition, because if your precondition means, if your precondition is not successful, you cannot proceed with the testing. Because here is the requirement, you have to test on the you have to test the application in the Chrome browser. So your precondition is you should have access to Chrome browser. Okay, it should not like that in your desktop or laptop Chrome browser is not there, then you cannot proceed with this testing. So this is your precondition. Okay, your test data, I told you whatever data you are using while doing the testing. Suppose while doing the log testing for the login module, your test data is your user ID and your password. You have to mention this. Your test scenario, one line description, verify on entering valid username and password the company customer should log in. This is your scenario. Your step details, navigate to demo dot this, or you can say navigate to http gmail.com, enter user ID and password, click submit. This is your step to reach to your test scenario. Test scenario is what to test. Your test step is how to test. Okay, expected, whatever is expected from the requirement document, you will write it here. Your expected is when you are navigating, site should open. Here your expected is when you will enter user ID and password, your credential should be entered. Okay, when you are clicking submit, customer should log in. So this is your expected output. Now actual is on when you are testing it. This is till expected, you will create the test case. When you are executing it, after executing whatever is happening in the application, you will write it here. If it is same as the expected, you will write as expected. If anything, something different is happening that is not as expected, you will write it here, whatever is happening. Suppose customer is not customer is unable to log in, so here you will write customer is unable to log in. Okay, or customer has not reached to the home page. Here you will write the actual, whatever wrong is happening, and write here you will write it as fail. But if everything goes well, you will write it as expected, and you will mark the status as pass. And above also you can here there's one more thing, you can write it pass. uh, when you have created this test case, or when you have tested, you can give the date. Okay, so, and who has created this test case, you can give the test case name. So all this information is to track your work, to track it. If suppose after 1 month, if someone has to see, 1 minute, who has created this test case, so what they will do, they will go back to this test details and they will see the tester's name. Okay, so understand, suppose you have tested in version 4.1, you will mention your version. Suppose, also remember, whenever you will create any test cases, sometime it happening, there will be a peer review in the team. Peer review means, suppose Saurabh and Gaurav, they both are a tester. Saurabh has created 10 test cases, Gaurav has created Gaurav has also created 10 test cases. So what is the peer review means? the peer review means Gaurav will review the Saurabh test case, whatever he has created, and Saurabh will review the Gaurav's test cases, whatever Gaurav has created. So this way review, peer review, that is called the peer review, our subordinate review, our candidates review, right? Peer review. So this way, because review is also important, na? So that if anyone done any mistake, suppose Saurabh has done any mistake, Gaurav can correct after reviewing. Oh, one second, your this language is wrong. No, 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 no. This you have written wrong in the expected. He can correct. He can give the comment. Suppose Saurabh has done something wrong, so and Gaurav has to correct. Then Gaurav will provide the comment. Saurabh, please update this test case. You have written wrong. Then Saurabh will update that test case. So peer review. So suppose here it is reviewed by this test case is written by tester's name Saurabh, written by Saurabh. Okay, so tester name Saurabh, but reviewed by Gaurav. So in the reviewed by, we will mention the name Gaurav. Okay, so these all are the details. It depends on the template. Okay, and these all are details which is important to track your work or track the test case. Okay, see, if someone will ask you, show me the template for this test case, if you will explain this template, that is more than enough. More than enough. He will not ask you the second question, because he says, boss, his understanding and concepts are very clear. Now I have no questions. Okay, so right, so this way, test scenario, one second, what is this? Yeah, so these are nothing but the different test scenarios. See, when you have a search functionality, your scenario will be verify the search functionality. Suppose you have to, in the Google, you have to search anything. So what is your search functionality? Enter anything in the Google and click on search. Okay, if that search is correct, then test case pass. If search is wrong, then test case is failed. Check search again with valid input. Check search out functionality with invalid input. Both, you have to cover both positive testing and negative testing. If someone will ask you, what kind of a testing will you cover while doing the testing, you can say, sir, I will cover the function testing, non-function testing. I will cover the positive test cases as well as the negative test cases. This is a very good thing, that you will cover the positive approach as well as the negative approach, because you never know whether you will be able to find the defect in the positive approach or in the negative approach. Okay, suppose in the Mantra app, whenever you will suppose you liked one dress and you will do it add to cart. Okay, add to cart. So now that that dress will reflect in your cart, so you will check the cart functionality, verify the cart functionality, that if you have click on two dresses add to cart, then the cart should display two things, or in the for the Amazon big basket, anywhere. Okay, so you will verify whatever you have added in the cart, that is reflecting or not, that is your cart functionality. Okay, whether user can add to the cart one or more products. See, suppose suppose in the Mantra app, as far as I know, you can only add 20 items in the cart. After the moment you try to add the 21 item, they will reflect you cannot add more item because you have exceeded the limit. Okay, so you have to verify that also. You have to verify that message. Okay, or now your other scenario is whether the user can change the amount of product in the cart or not. Suppose you, for one dress you have added the quantity 4. Okay, but now after 5 minutes you say, no, I don't have to order the 4 quantity, I want 2 quantity. Then you will click on the minus thing. Okay, and 4 quantity will reduce to 3. Again you will click on minus, it will come to the 2. So you have to check that functionality, whether you will be able to change the amount of product, change the quantity of product or not. Same way. Okay, so this thing, verify to limit to the number of products a user can buy. See, limit thing. Okay, you cannot add 100 items in the cart. Nowhere you can add. Every application has some limit. Suppose Mantra has, you can add only 20 items. Okay, Amazon has, you can add only 30 items. Okay, and you cannot add more than 30 items at in a one purchase or at one time. So you have to check that limit also, and that limit as expected will come from the Amazon requirement document. Okay, because this is not your home company. Okay, so here you have to verify that limit also. And your other scenario can be verified that message should reflect when you are exceeding the number of products in a cart. This is your one scenario. Okay, verify the user can delete one of more projects from the cart. That means suppose you have changed your idea that now I don't want not even a single quantity. Okay, then there will be a functionality of cross. You can cross it, or there will be functionality of doing it zero. You will check that, you will verify that. So as depend on the application, you will cover on the functionality, login, sign up, add to cart. Okay, in the Mantra app, add to cart functionality, and also transaction functionality, whether user will be able to transaction whether user will be able to do transaction through Paytm, Phone Pay, okay, and cash on delivery. So you have to verify all the functionalities. So first you have to write the scenarios on the scenario is what to test, and test cases how to test. To reach what to test, you will perform certain steps. That is your test cases. Okay, if someone will ask you while doing the test cases, what kind of a test cases you will cover, you will simply say, I will cover the function test cases, I will cover the security test cases, performance test cases, positive testing, negative testing. Okay, UI test cases. UI means font of the application, color, background. You will all see font, color, background testing. You will also do. You are the tester, na? You will do it. Okay, they will not hire any architect or development team to test that. So you can give just the name, understand the concept. Okay, type of, if someone will ask you till now, uh, what type of test cases you have created, you can say, sir, I have created function test cases. Or see, performance test cases are little bit complex, that those will write who will do the performance testing. Okay, but now you can skip that. So you can just say the name, sir, I have created the function test cases, functionality test cases, but my other subordinate has created the performance test cases. So you can name it and say, sir, I have not written the performance test case, but I have written the functionality test cases. Okay, unit test cases. Okay, unit test cases, you will not write it. Unit test cases will be written by developers. Okay, because they will do the unit testing. Unit testing means testing of a piece of a code. You cannot do the unit testing. Unit testing is a testing of a code of a programming language of a code that will be tested with the help of a programming language. And being a tester, you don't know, you are unaware of the languages thing. Know, you have no knowledge of Java.net. So you don't know the internal of the any application, so you cannot do the unit testing. Or UI test cases, being a tester, you can write the UI means it's a to check the UI element working correctly or not. Display, easy to use. UI means logo is aligned, logo alignment is correct or not, spelling is correct or not. Uh, Logo, color, application background, color, font, all comes under UI. How UI means how the application is good in look and feel. Okay, whether UI means whether application is user friendly or not, usability testing, it is user friendly or not. Okay, its font, color, background, its look and feel is good or not, it is clear or not, it is not blurred, everything, like its font size is looking good. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि font size should be so big or so small that no one can easily read. Okay, security test cases mean it will ensure that a project or system function properly under all conditions. We will write the test cases that no one can do the unauthorized access to the application. Okay, so there will be security. Suppose for the Facebook application, what will be your security test cases? Your security, whatever functionality you will cover under security thing. Oh, one second, let me see my Facebook application. What are the in the security thing? What are the thing? Yeah, security and privacy. Okay, in the security we have a settings. Okay, who can, one second, yeah, Yeah, who we have the uh, one second. Yeah, to whom we can blog, to we have the security thing. It's us to decide that who can give comment on us, who can see my post, who can see my zines. Okay, that is come under privacy or security, so that you can cover under the security testing thing. Okay, so basically it will safeguard our system, our privacy and security thing. Okay, it should not, like if you are giving the setting that only my friends can see my profile picture, but still, who those are not added in your friend list, they will also be able to access it. That is wrong. That means your security test case got failed. Integration test cases. After doing the unit testing, okay, I told you now we have a levels of testing unit integration system. Okay. After doing the function testing, you will integrate the modules. Suppose in the function testing, you have tested the functionality of the only the profile picture, only the sign up page, only the login page. Then you will integrate all and you will test as one go. Integration testing. Combination of a module you will test it. Okay. So database test cases you can ignore it. So usability test cases, right? Usability means how the user friendly is, how the application, that application should be such an easy to use that everyone can use it. See, Facebook application look and feel and using is user, it is should be user friendly. Okay, then we have a UAT testing, regression testing, that we will take it in the next lecture. Guys, if you have any question, let me know. I will mark it as red so that I got to know. Any questions? If no, then we can wind up. No questions? Okay. Okay. So I have already uploaded 2 documents. Please, during the weekend time, revise that. Okay. Understand that. If you have any questions, come on Monday and ask to me. Okay. So that will also help you, and it will help me also, that I will understand how much you have understood, right? So please go through on this document, and this document is pending to upload. That I will also upload on the Monday. But now I want you to go through at least 2 documents. That is also a big one. Okay, go through that documents. If you have any issues, any queries, you can ask me on Monday. Fine. Okay, fine. Thank you. Then we can close the call. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.